Today we're going to talk about how much to save for college. Costs are skyrocketing and we want to make sure that you're saving enough. If this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, Certified Financial Planner with Sickle Hunter Financial Advisors. College costs are rising all the time. It's somewhere between 6 and 8%. Every year is a little different. It's 3 to 4% more than regular inflation. And if you're thinking over an 18-year period, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of growth and a lot of savings that we need to do to make sure we can fund college education planning. College costs are rising, but it's also really difficult to figure out how much college is going to cost. So we have to have some idea of where we want our kids to go to school so we can make sure that we're saving enough, because the costs vary so much. You almost have to know upfront where your kid's gonna go. When they're in diapers, you're still gonna have to figure out whether or not they're gonna go to a 2-year college or a 4-year university. If you look at the site collegeboard.org, they have some really great information on saving for college and how much those costs are going to be. Figuring what the average price for school is really difficult because prices vary so much. On the website collegeboard.org, they have a graph. I'm going to pull it up right here. You can see that these college costs are so vastly different. If you look at the very top here, you can see that tuition for a public 2-year in-district commuter is $3,570, which is vastly different than going to a 4-year private college or university at $34,740. But you got to look at this number at the end, because this is really the true cost. So you can see it ranges from $17,000 all the way up to $50,000, $50,000, and that's per year. That's not all 4 years, that's per year. So these costs are hugely different. And when you're looking at the cost of college, a lot of the quotes are just looking at tuition. They really don't talk about the room and the board and the books. Books are expensive for college. You have to look at the total cost. Today we're just focusing on how much college will cost, what those costs are, how to estimate them, and how to plan for them, not the actual savings vehicles that we want to save into, like the 529, Florida prepaid, other prepaid programs. Do you do a Coverdell, Roth IRA, non-retirement? There's a ton of different ways. Just want to focus in on how much college is going to cost. So there's a really great tool that we have access to that if you're interested, let me know. I'll leave the link down at the bottom if you want to figure out what those estimates are going to be. Now you can look up on any university, figure out what the cost is. Now that might take a long time, but you might have time to do it. So that is one way, but you want to inflate it out. You want to know what costs are going to be in 18 years or thereabout. So here's how this tool works. I'll pull it up on the screen here. And this is actually my daughter. She is 1 year old and she's going to go to school when she's 18. And we're going to assume that she's going to go through the age of 21. Now we can choose any school here to figure out what that's going to be. So I went to the University of North Carolina, so we'll put that in there. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So we click on next. This tool is going to show in-state and out-of-state, which is really helpful, and it also gives us the estimates on all the other costs. So while out-of-state tuition might be $24,000 a year, just under $25,000, it's going to add all the other costs also that are very important to plan for, because you need to pay for room and board, you need to pay for books. These are costs just like tuition. You can't go to school without these other costs. We know that college right now is going to cost roughly $41,000. You can see it puts the annual amount right up there at $41,000 annually, and that's in today's dollars. That's not inflated out just yet. So we can look at this tool and we can put it in here, and then we can flip over to our college funding analysis, and this is going to show us what those costs are going to be. So that $41,000 turns into year one of $68,000. So not only do we need to save for tuition, but we need to take into consideration the growth. So that's the rate of return. So the performance that we need to achieve has to be the principal, the amount that we put in, and a rate of return that can outpace inflation, because remember, school is inflating at 6 to 8%. So you can see as we go through these years, 68,000, then you can see it's 71, 75, and 79. And on the right here, it says 294,000. Now the shortfall, because this plan isn't showing that we're saving anything, but $294,000 to go to school at a public university. Yes, it's out of state, but it's still a public university. This is how you can estimate the cost. I can run through another college to show you the difference. And let's put in the University of South Florida. That's where my wife went, so we'll put it in. And since we're in Florida, we'll look at in-state tuition. So it's gonna be $5,700 a year, and the total comes to $20,000. So let's click save there. Click save. We can go back to the education planning, and you can see that it's significantly cheaper. It's a third cheaper. It's $200,000 instead of our $294,000. So year one now will only be $47,000. Still, $47,000 is a lot of money, especially when you're looking at saving for one or more kids. So if we go down to the bottom, we can see how much savings will impact. So let's say we're saving $4,800. We have 85% of the goal funded. So these numbers are going to change depending on what percentage you want to fund or how much you want to fund, what schools are going to go to. And then also over here on the right side, we'll look at the annual rate of return. So we're assuming that we're going to achieve a 6% rate of return. And let's say if we want to take a little bit more risk and bump that up, we can look at an 8% rate of return, and we might be able to bring this down. If we bring it down to 4,800, we've still achieved our goal. So that's quite a bit different. That doesn't mean you should just take on more risk just so you can save less, but you can balance the rate of return with the amount that we need to save in order to fund college education planning. This is a simple tool that takes a lot of the guesswork out of planning for college education. As you can see, costs vary tremendously, but it kind of gives you an idea and a target to look at so you can figure out how much you need to save, how much your rate of return will affect it. The only other piece you need to look at is which types of accounts and which types of investments that you can match up to work with your target rate of return and the amount that you're saving. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.